There are also two other springs in the vicinity, Ain al-Qudirat and Ain al-Kazimah. To date the largest of the three springs is Ain al-Qudirat, and for this reason some favor identifying it with Kadesh Barnea. However, Ankdais is the most easterly spring. Consequently, the identification of Ankdais with Kadesh Barnea seems to be more in line with the description of the EW course of Canaan's southern boundary. Kadesh Barnea Ankdais, Hazar Ain al-Qudirat, and Azman Ain al-Kazimah. New 34. 3-5. If the Israelites did encamp in this area, because of the vast multitude they doubtless used all three springs. For example, the encampment just before crossing the Jordan spread out from Beth Jeshimoth to Abel Shittim. New 33. 49. That was a distance of about 8 kilometers 5 mi, according to the suggested sites for those places. The distance from Kadesh Barnea Ankdais to Azman Ain al-Kazimah is about 14 kilometers 8.5 mi. And the Hazar Ain al-Qudirat is 9 kilometers 5.5 mi. So, for them to have used all three springs is not an unreasonable possibility. It is also possible that the whole area was called Kadesh Barnea with the name preserved in this spring. See I don't know. 2. Azman. In the second year after their exodus from Egypt, the Israelites pulled away from Hatzeroth and encamped at Kadesh Barnea. Compare New 10. 11, 12, 33, 34. 12. 16. 13. 26. Moses then sent 12 men to spy out the promised land. 10 of these spies brought back a bad report, resulting in rebellious murmurings among the Israelites. Jehovah, therefore, sentenced the nation to wander in the wilderness. Israel's subsequent attempt to take Canaan without divine approval and direction brought humiliating defeat. New 13. 1-16, 25-29. 14. 1-9, 26-34, 44, 45. 32. 7-13. 1. 41-45. For some time thereafter the Israelites stayed at Kadesh Barnea. 1. 46. But it was not Jehovah's purpose for them to remain there. Earlier he had said to them, while the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the low plain, you people make a turn tomorrow Aheb. Idiom meaning later on, as the text 13. 14 and pull away to march to the wilderness by way of the Red Sea. New 14. 25. Accordingly, the Israelites left Kadesh Barnea and walked about in the wilderness for 38 years. 2. 1. 14. It seems that during these years they spent time at some 18 different places, this being the number of camp stages listed after the Israelites left Hatzeroth. Compare New 12. 16. 13. 3, 25, 26. 33. 16-36. Although Israel encamped at Kadesh after departing from Hatzeroth, Numbers 33. 18 does not mention Kadesh after Hatzeroth. This may have been an intentional omission or perhaps, as some have suggested in the past, Kadesh may be the same as Rithma. Finally the Israelites appear to have returned to Kadesh in the first month of the 40th year after the Exodus. New 20. 1. 33. 36-39. Moses' sister Miriam died there. Later, Moses and Aaron lost the privilege of entering the Promised Land for failing to sanctify Jehovah in connection with the miraculous provision of water for the Israelites encamped at Kadesh. From there Moses subsequently asked Edom's permission to pass through its territory. New 20. 1-17. This request was denied, and seemingly the Israelites remained a while longer at Kadesh. New 20. 18. JG 11. 16, 17 before moving on toward the Promised Land by way of Mount Hor. New 20. 22. 33. 37. When they reached the plains of Moab, ear of the Jordan, Jehovah designated Kadesh Barnea as a part of the southern border of the Promised Land. New 33. 50. 34. 4 later, the Israelites under Joshua conquered the area extending from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza. Jos 10. 41, and Kadesh Barnea came to be on the southern boundary of Judah. Jos 15. 1-4. Psalm 29. 8 speaks of Jehovah's voices causing the wilderness of Kadesh to writhe. The allusion may be to a violent storm that rushes from Otex to Acute Longo. Carton 143. The exact location of their territory is uncertain, although it is suggested that they inhabited the Syrian desert between Palestine, Syria, and the Euphrates River. The Hebrew name of this people Kad-Ni has the same form as the adjective Kad-Ni Eastern, Es 47. 18. Thus some suggest that it may merely mean Easterners. JG 8. 10. However, the fact that this Hebrew term is used as a name at Genesis 15. 19 shows that it can refer to a specific tribe. Kankarin from a root meaning produce, acquire, buy. 1. A name employed in a proverbial utterance of Balaam to refer to the tribe of the Kenites. New 24. 22. It is rendered the Kenites at Judges 4. 11. See Kenit. 2. A city in the mountainous region of Judah. Jos 15. 1, 48, 57. It is identified with Unbeakin, about 6 kilometers 3.5 miles of Hebron. Kaiwan. Apparently a star god, as indicated by the fact that the name Kaiwan is put in a parallelism with the star of your god. Am 5. 26. Evidently the Akkadian star Kamanu or Kaiwanu is meant, since this occurs in Akkadian inscriptions as the name of Saturn, a star god. In the Masoretic text the name was intentionally vowel pointed to correspond with the Hebrew word shik . Disgusting thing. In the Greek Septuagint, Kaiwan is rendered Ra fan, presumably the Egyptian designation for Saturn. And in Stephen's quotation, at Acts 7. 43, Rom . For it appears in the Westcott and Greek text. See astrologers. Rephaim. Kalai. A priest in the days of the high priest Joachim. He was the head of the paternal house of Saleh. Ne 12. 12, 20, 26. Kamankumande. The burial place of Judge Je. JG 10. 5. Josephus speaks of Kaman as a city of Gilead. Jewish Antiquities, v. 254 7, 6. This seems to fit the scriptural reference to Jez being a Gileadite. JG 10. 3. 2 locations of the Jordan are commonly presented for ancient Kaman. 1 is Kam, about 18 kilometers 11 miles of the Sea of Galilee. But its ruins give no evidence of habitation before Roman times. The other suggestion is the site of the less impressive ruins of undetermined antiquity at Kmaim, about 3 kilometers 2 mi farther Eskana Canarid. Cain. 1. A torrent valley that served as a boundary between Ephraim and Manasseh. Jos 16. 8. 17. 9. Today it is usually linked with the Wadi Kanani Halkana. This small stream rises in the hill country a few kilometers of Nablus and, as the Wadi Ishka, flows in a southwesterly direction and then joins the Wadi Akan Nihal Yakan, which empties into the Mediterranean Sea and of Tel Aviv-Yafo. However, some scholars believe that in Joshua's day the lower course of the Wadi Kana perhaps flowed directly into the Mediterranean at a point about 10 kilometers 6 mi farther into a boundary city of Asher. Jos 19. 24, 28. It is generally identified with modern Kana, about 12 kilometers 7.5 miles of Tyre. Kaf. Final. The 11th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. In sound Kaf corresponds to KH when not having the point Gishlin in it. But, with this point in it, it becomes hard like the English K. In the Hebrew, it is the initial letter in each of the 8 verses of Psalm 119. 81-88. The letters Kaf and Bet are similar in appearance. Bald. Baldness. A man of Judah whose sons Johanan and Jonathan were chiefs of military forces in Judah. It was at the time Gedaliah was commissioned by the king of Babylon to govern the Judeans who had not been taken into Babylonian exile following the destruction of Jerusalem in 607 BCE to Car 25. 21-23. J 40. 7, 8. Karkikikaflaw. A site on Judah's boundary between Edeno, Tu and Asman. Jos 15. 1-4 The exact location is today uncertain. Some scholars tentatively identify it with a well-built pool discovered at the confluence of Wadi al-Ain and Wadi Hashim, about 4 km 2.5 meters of Azmain al-Khazaimeh. See a text to acute Miritra Longo, Katath 144 Katath. A city of Zebulun Jos 19. 10, 15, often considered to be the same as Kitron. JG 1. 30. Kita Kaidah from a root meaning be dark. 1. One of the 12 sons of Ishmael. GE 25. 13-15. 1 CH 1. 29-31. 2. An Arab tribe descended from Ishmael's son Kedah and classed with the sons of the East. Their land is also called Kedah. 2. 10. 49. 28, 29 A nomadic and pastoral people, having herds of sheep, goats, and camels. Issa 60. 7. 49. 28, 29 The Kedarites evidently inhabited the Syro-Arabian desert of Palestine in the NW part of the Arabian Peninsula. The reference to the settlements that Kedar inhabits is 42. 11, while possibly referring to temporary encampments, may instead indicate that a portion of them was somewhat settled. Perhaps because of their importance among the Arab tribes, the name of Kedar in later times came to apply to desert tribes in general. In the Targums and in rabbinic literature, Arabia itself is sometimes called Kedar. The Shulamite girl of the Song of Solomon likened her swarthy appearance to the tents of Kedar. 1. 5, 6. Compare PS 120. 5. These likely being made of black goat's hair, as are the tents of many modern-day Bedouin. Ezekiel's prophecy mentions the chieftains of Kedar along with the Arabs as merchants of male lambs, rams, and goats for the commercial city of Tyre. Es 27. 21. During the time of Assyria's dominance in the Middle East, the prophet Isaiah foretold the sudden decline of Kedar's glory, her mighty bowmen being reduced to a mere remnant. Issa 21. 16, 17 The Kedarites are evidently the Kedari or Kadri referred to in Assyrian records of warring campaigns. Assyrian king Ashurbanipal includes them with the Arabi Arabs and Nebaioth. Compare Issa 60. 7 in one campaign account and boasts of the asses, camels, and sheep taken from them as booty. At a later time, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, struck down Kedar. 49. 28, 29 The monarch's conquest of Arabia is mentioned by Babylonian historian Berosus, quoted by Josephus. Against Apian, I, 129, 133, 19. A silver bowl considered to be of the 5th century BCE found at Tel El Maskut or in Egypt bears the Aramaic inscription. Kenubar son of Gizim Jeshem, king of Kedar. The Jeshem meant in this case may possibly be Jeshem the Arabian, who opposed the work of rebuilding Jerusalem's wall in Nehemiah's day. Ne 2. 19. 6. 1, 2, 6. Assyrian records indicate that at the shrine of King Hazael of Kedar there were images of the following false deities. At Arsamain the Assyrians identified her with Ishtadilbat, Di, Nai, Ruldeu, Atakuruma, and Aparilu. A star of gold decorated with precious stones served as a symbol of the goddess Arsamain. According to the Babylonian Talmud Taranat 5b, the people of Kedar also worship water. Kadima Ked middle. Eastward. Toward the east. A son of Ishmael, named last in order at Genesis 25. 15 and 1 Chronicles 1. 31. In fulfillment of Jehovah's promise to Abraham. Ge 17. 20. Kedemah was one of the 12 chieftains produced by Ishmael. Kedemoth Ked middle. Moth from a root meaning east. The name applied to a city of the Jordan and apparently also to the wilderness surrounding it. From the wilderness of Kedemoth, Moses sent messengers to Amorite king Sihon, requesting permission to pass through his land. The 2. 26, 27 Originally given to the Reubenites, Kedemoth was later assigned to the Merarite Levites. Jos 13. 15, 18. 21. 34, 36, 37. 1 ch 6. 77-79 Scholars generally favor as a possible identification one of the tells near where the torrent valley of Arnon begins, such as Qasr ez-Zafaran, situated about 16 km 10 mi of what is thought to be the site of ancient Dibon. Kadesh Kadesh Holy Place. 1. A city in southern Judah. Jaws 15. 21, 23, possibly the same as Kadesh Barnea. See Kadesh, Kadesh Barnea. 2. A city of Naphtali given to the Gershonites. O textually acute miritra longo, Kenet 145 Joshua 12. 21, 22, where Kadesh appears to be placed in the vicinity of Megiddo and Jokneam. Since Barak defeated Sisera in the Megiddo area. JG 5. 19, it may have been near this Kadesh and not know. 2. That Yael killed Canaanite army chief Sisera in her tent. JG 4. 11, 17, 21. Kalatha ke middle. Lotha from a root meaning congregation. One of the places where the Israelites encamped while wandering in the wilderness. New 33. 22, 23 Its exact location is today unknown. Kela. A fortified Judean city in the Shephelah. Jaws 15. 20, 33, 44. 1 23. 7 Kela was perhaps founded or, at one time, governed by some Caleblades. 1 ch 4. 15, 19 It is commonly identified with Bet Kila, situated on a hill about 14 km 8.5 mi NW of Hebron. As in the region of ancient Kila, today grain is cultivated in the vicinity of Bet Kila. Compare 1 23. 1. David, while outlawed by King Saul, saved Keilah from falling to the Philistines. Yet afterward he and his men had to escape from the city to avoid being surrendered to Saul's army by the landowners of Keilah. 1 23. 5, 8-13. The city was reoccupied after the Babylonian exile. At the time that Jerusalem's walls were being repaired under Nehemiah's direction, there were 2 half-districts of Keilah, each with its own prince. Ne 3. 17, 18. Gilead ke middle. Liar. Another name for the Levite Kelita, a contemporary of Ezra the priest. Ez 10. 23. See Kelita number 1. Kelita ke middle. Lita possibly from a root meaning too short, that is, dwarfed. 1. One of the Levites of Ezra's day who recognized their guilt in taking foreign wives and therefore sent them away. He is also called Gilead. Ez 10. 23, 44 possibly the same as Numbers 2 and 3. 2. A Levite who assisted Ezra in explaining the law to the people in 455 BCE and 8. 7, 8. See number 1. 3. A Levite whose descendant, if not he himself, attested by seal the trustworthy arrangement of Nehemiah's time. Ne 9. 38. 10. 1, 9, 10 If Kelita himself, rather than a descendant, was present when this agreement was made, he may have been the same as number 1 or no. 2. Camul Chem middle. Ul. 1. A son of Abraham's brother Nahor and his wife Milcah. Hence, Abraham's nephew. He had a son named Aram. Ge 22. 20, 21. 2. Son of Shipton and a chieftain of the tribe of Ephraim. He was one of the 12 men appointed by Jehovah through Moses to divide the land of Canaan among the Israelites, representing the tribe of Ephraim in this undertaking. New 34. 16-29. 3. A Levite who was the father of Hashabiah, leader over the tribe of Levi in David's day. 1 ch 27. 16, 17. Kenan Kainan from a root meaning produce. Acquire. By. The son of Enosh, grandson of Seth, and great-grandson of Adam. He was the father of Mahalalel, and lived 910 years. Ge 5. 3-14. 1 ch 1. 1, 2 Kenan is evidently referred to as Canaan, son of Enosh, in Luke's listing of Jesus' genealogy. Luke 3. 37, 38. Kenath Ka'inath. A site of the Jordan captured by Noba, probably a Manasseh, who thereafter called it by his own name. New 32. 42 But the designation Noba perhaps did not stick, for later Kenath is reported to have been taken by Jeshua in Syria. 1 Ch 2. 23 Later renamed Kanatha, it was one of the original 10 cities of the Decapolis. Kenath is identified with the ruins at Kenawat, about 90 km 60 mi SSE of Damascus, and 7 km 4.5 mi NW of modern Sawada. Kenaz Ka'inaz. 1. One of the sons of Esau's son Elabaz, and a sheikh in the land of Edom. GE 36. 11, 15, 42, 43. 1 Ch 1. 36, 53. 2. The father of Othniel and Sarah and brother to Caleb son of Jephunneh. Jos 15. 17. JG 1. 13. 3. 9, 11. 1 Ch 4. 13. 3. A descendant of Caleb the son of Jephunneh through Elah. 1 Ch 4. 15. Kenat Kenite. A member of a people residing in Canaan or its vicinity in the days of Abraham. The scriptures, however, provide no definite genealogical link for determining their origin. GE 15. 18-21. While O textoi acute nuritra longo, Kenizite 146 their residents in Midian, members of this family are called Midianites. In other cases they are referred to as Kenats. This suggests that Miz's father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, and his brother-in-law Hobab may have been Midianites from a geographic standpoint. X2. 15, 16. 3. 1. 18. 1. New 10. 29, 30. JG 1. 16 On the other hand, if Miz's relatives were racial descendants of Midian, then they may have been called Kenats, because of belonging to a Kenat branch, or family, of the Midianites, thus making them racially distinct from the Kenats existing in Abraham's time before the birth of Midian. When the Israelites were about to leave the region of Mount Sinai, Moses requested that Hobab accompany them to serve as eyes, or as a scout, for the nation because of his knowledge of the area. Although declining at first, Hobab apparently did go along, for the Kenats are later mentioned as taking up residence in the wilderness of Judah to the east of Arad. New 10. 29-32. JG 1. 16. At a later period Hobab the Kenat separated himself from the other Kenats and pitched his tent at Kadesh. JG 4. 11. See Kadesh No. 3. When the Canaanite forces were overthrown, Sisera fled on foot to the tent of Yael the wife of Hobab the Kenat, for there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the household of Hobab the Kenat. However, there Sisera's life ended at Yael's hand. JG 4. 17-21. 5. 24-27. In the days of King Saul some Kenats were residing among the Amalekites. Therefore Saul, when about to make war against the Amalekites, urged the Kenats to separate themselves to escape calamity. This kindness was extended because the Kenats had themselves exercised loving kindness with all the sons of Israel at the time of their coming up out of Egypt. 1 Samuel 15. 5, 6. Compare X 18. 8, 9. New 10. 29-33. Later, David told Achish that he had made a raid upon the south of the Kenats. 1 Samuel 27. 10 But this was part of a subterfuge. Actually, the Kenats were on friendly terms with the Israelites. Thus, David sent some of the spoil seized